Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Frantic Talks podcast, episode 42. I am your host, Frantic. Along with me, as always, is my lovely co-host,
Grunt.
And
hey,
we're
everyone.
Here to talk. Hey, everybody. We're here to talk about video games
And junk.
All right, so we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about that isn't necessarily related to video games, and we'll get to that. But first, we're going to get some stuff out of the way. One. Usually I start with advertising, but I want to say immediately, if you're watching this on the Frantic J3 the Third Twitch channel, you're actually watching it on the incorrect channel now. A couple episodes back, we mentioned getting a different channel, and we now have twitch.tv/Frantic Talks, all one word, and that's where we'll be broadcasting from for the foreseeable future. I have no reason to change it. With that came a lot of changes. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, and I'll mention a lot of stuff that goes on with that channel, but I wanted to get that out there right away because it's during the advertising. Twitch.tv/Frantic Talks. That's all us now.
Yep.
That's exciting. All right, so where else can you find us? Twitch.tv/Frantic Talks. Like I said, every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll be live doing the podcast unless otherwise specified. And what I mean by that is if you follow us on Twitter, I'm at FranticJ3, he's at Onyx Spartan, you'll find out that maybe sometimes we change the schedule. And also there's at Frantic_Talks, which is our official Twitter account, which I've been trying to get a little more active, so we're going to try to extend conversations beyond the podcast. That way we get some stuff to talk about during the week. And during the podcast, potentially. So if you follow us there on Twitter, I didn't mention Onyx Spartan's ONYX, but that's how you say it.
Shame on you for leaving me out.
I didn't mean to leave you out. I mentioned you were there. I just forgot to say how you spell it. Because I was so excited not having to say J3 the Third and then count it all out. So, you know, I was excited about that.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll let it slide this time.
Yeah. Anyways, go to facebook.com/Frantic Talks, all one word. That's where you can find us posting usually articles, videos, and other random stuff. And then you can hit us up on iTunes, just search Frantic Talks, frantictalks.com, which is in the background right now on the video in the stream, and then magic.frantictalks.com, where we do articles about Magic the Gathering. And that pretty much sums it up. I mean, there's a couple other random ways you can find us. So YouTube, I'm hilarious. YouTube.com, just search Frantic Talks. We don't have an official URL yet. Get us to 100 subscribers. That's your job. We'll get you there. And sorry if my screen's been shaking. My camera's a little shaky today. I'm going to try not to do that more. So that sums it up. Yeah.
There's a joke to be made there, but I can't think of it right now. So
yeah. We'll get to our sponsor in a little bit. We have to figure out who it is first. But let's start like we always do. Grunt, how was your week?
Fantastic.
I can tell by the shirt you're wearing.
Really? This thing? Yeah. Tell you what, everyone. 108 years is a long time.
If you didn't know, Grunt is a Chicago Cubs fan, and the Chicago Cubs just won the World Series for the first time in 108 years.
And it's amazing. I even got my little W flag that I just bought today.
In the background.
I'll actually be going outside at some point, but, okay. I mean, celebration. Come on.
I was about to say, this is your new setup, too, by the way. Your background looks a little different.
It is. It was a little different. The other side of it that you can't see right now doesn't look all that well, but this is what it will look like from now on when you see me.
Nice. I like it. Looks pretty good. You can see a different angle of everything in your room.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I should eventually get some stuff up behind me beyond my guitars, but those are good background scenery for now. I have a couple of posters over here. I just haven't put them up. I haven't had the time.
Nah, just leave them. Guitars, that's all you need is a backdrop.
I really get all it is. I mean, the one in the back over here that you can actually see is my newest one, 7-string. I think I mentioned it already, but I like showing that off. It goes in the coffin next to it. That's a coffin case. I'm going to move out of the way here. If you're listening to this audio-wise, I'm sorry, but in the video you can see these things. Just YouTube or Twitch it. I don't think I archived the Twitch one, so you have to go to YouTube. But the link will be on our website, so if you ever want to watch the stuff.
There you go.
Exactly. But anyways, games, what were you playing this week?
Well, I bought Skyrim. Actually, I bought it last Saturday, right after we pretty much ended the podcast.
Oh, nice.
But I didn't actually get the chance to play until Tuesday. So far, I've been enjoying it. It's a typical Bethesda RPG, They have definitely made some improvements to it, I think. Their core formula of their RPG games, from Skyrim to, Fallout 4.
Yeah.
So, gameplay feels a little smoother. Combat still feels great, though, so I like that. Let's see, I played a little bit of Rocket League with you, I think, yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday, and then want to say one other point in the week. But I
Yeah,
could be wrong.
I'm not sure, but I do
Oh no,
know
you
that.
tried to, but you had to download a hilarious update. That was what happened.
Hey,
It was like 4 gigs, and your internet does not download 4 gigs fast enough.
no. Yeah, 2 gig updates you can download in about an hour and a half. But when you string 2 gig updates back to back, because why not? Then it's going to take a little while. Let's
Naturally.
see. Played a little Destiny on yesterday. Haven't been playing too much of it though. But I mean, I just bought Skyrim and I've been busy doing other stuff, so
Yeah.
my game time has been limited this week.
Yeah, mine has been. I mean, I've played a decent amount, but I haven't played what I wanted to play necessarily. So like I got my GameFly thing, and I've had Doom sitting on my desk, and I have played it. I played the first level of Doom, but that's all I've gotten to play out of it. And I feel like I need to play a little more to get my bang for my buck there. But if I had to comment on it, I enjoyed the very first level of Doom. It was awesome in terms of setup. It basically, like the Doom theme was one of the first songs I learned on my guitar. So hearing like a more remastered version in the very beginning of the game was somewhat nostalgic, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
It was just great, and the way they set up the opening, it was just pretty kick-ass, and it kind of set the tone for the game to just be a badass dude killing aliens, or not aliens, but demon spawn or whatever you want to call them.
Demon aliens.
So,
Demonoids.
yeah, demon aliens. Yeah, basically. So that was it was pretty cool. But other than that, yeah, I haven't. The only thing I've played really is Rocket League and some Destiny and some Pokemon in my free time, because Pokemon's easier to play because it's on this little DS that's 2x4 inches essentially, a little bigger than that, but
Do you finally have a charger for it?
No, I had the charger for the regular DS. The issue is having it was a whole thing. I have everything I need. I have 3 DS chargers, 2 DSs, and 3 Pokemon games. I'm good. I have everything I need.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
outside of playing a few games and having my Cubbies win the World Series, dear God, that hasn't completely sunk in yet for I think a lot of Cubs fans. So
Oh yeah.
I mean,
man, there's certain points where let me think. There was it always takes a bit for a team's fan base for it to truly set in, I think, because it's just like it's pretty overwhelming winning.
oh yeah,
I haven't had one of my teams win anything beyond OSU, who actually I'm drinking out of an OSU cup today, by the way. I didn't show you that. They won the national championship 2 years ago.
it was
Yeah, that
recent,
was-
yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
follow OSU, so I don't.
Yeah, we beat Oregon in 2014. That's the last time a team I follow has won anything big. And then before that would have still been OSU, because I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, and we were in the Super Bowl in 2000, and that was the last time we were really ever notable beyond a few playoff runs. And then Cincinnati Reds are my team, and they really haven't done too much. They've been in playoffs once or twice here recently, but since I've been a fan, they haven't done much beyond the early 1990s.
Ooh.
So it's been a while for me beyond OSU. So I feel like if it's been 108 years, I can't even relate to that. It definitely would take a while to set in.
Oh yeah. Yeah. One thing before I finish my wrap up for my week and let you go on to yours is I just want to say that game of Rocket League yesterday was hilarious. One of the games of Rocket League, we were playing it, and what was it, rank we were playing, right?
Yeah, we usually jump into ranked because I just don't like getting bots and random join-ins.
Right. So we were playing that. The teams were pretty evenly matched. We jumped out to a 3-point. No, the other team jumped out to a 3-point lead.
Yeah, and then
we scored a goal. And then we scored 3 more goals to win the game. Mm-hmm. So, considering everything that's happened with 3-1 this year, I'm saying that is cursed.
It really is. So if you don't understand what 3-1 is, so it goes to the NBA Finals is where this kind of
originates.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. It's basically, it was in the NBA Finals. It was Golden State Warriors versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Golden State Warriors were on a hella year. They went 42-1 or something, which is ridiculous in basketball terms. They just were really good. And Golden State Warriors were up 3-1, and then the Cavs came back and won down 3-1, which had never happened in NBA history. So a little sports lesson for those of you that didn't know that. So that was the first time it ever happened. So they came back and won 4-3. It's a best-of-7 series. So the Cavaliers won. And what's really funny, I've mentioned it before, is how the Cleveland Indians were in the World Series, which is baseball. So 2 Cleveland teams are in like the big championships. So Cleveland was up 3-1 on the Chicago Cubs, and the Chicago Cubs came back and won 4-3. So it's definitely cursed in our game of Rocket League. Not biggest stakes there, but we were down 3-1 and still came back and won. I think we're actually down 3-0. But either way,
I think so. But
we
still,
came back and won that.
It's hilarious, and I remember saying when we got that first goal to make it 3-1, we were like, all right, let's make them blow a 3-1 lead, and I can't remember what the reactions from you and Freak Show were.
I don't remember, but I've seen enough to know that never write yourself off or write anyone off in terms of having a lead or being behind.
Exactly.
I've actually seen gameplay in the subreddit for Rocket League where it was 7-0 or 6-0, and they were 1 minute left, and the team who was down 6-0 won 7-6 in overtime.
Oh my god!
It was really dumb. And the title was "Never Count Yourself Out." It was like, oh Jesus!
I want to be that good.
Speaking of Rocket League, isn't the RLCS happening this weekend, or at least one of many times they happen?
It's happening both. Well, as a matter of fact, right now, as a matter of fact, it's happening.
Yeah. So if you're tuning in to watch this instead of watching that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes. But it's also happening tomorrow or Sunday, yesterday, depending on whenever you listen to this.
Yeah.
I think the North American teams are playing today and the European teams tomorrow. So I hope to maybe see about catching some games because I like to watch that. So
yeah, I definitely like the idea of watching it. It's just I'm pretty busy this week, so let me get to my week because then I can explain that. Also, I'm trying to make you mod in the Twitch chat, and I don't want to do it and like break everything on my screen, so I'll do that later.
All right.
New Twitch chat, so
Let's see how it is.
Anyways, I really hope people aren't in my other chat. They're on the Frantic J3 chat. I wonder if I could see it in here. Whatever. We'll find out later. So let's start with that. So if you're looking at the screen right now, or if you followed us on Facebook or on Twitter, you might have noticed some changes. We updated our logo, and this was something a long time coming, I feel like. I definitely wanted to do an update to it a while ago, along with the website, which I have made a new version of the website. It just has some stuff I need to iron out and some features I need to add. So that's here and there. It's been like that for about 9 months now. I haven't touched it. Life gets in the way.
What's the technical term? It's coming down the pipeline or something like that?
Well, it's in development is the right term, but it's, coming down the pipeline too. Yeah, that could work. I mean, it works either way. But we updated the logo. I definitely like how it turned out, and I got some good responses from the people on Facebook, that basically my friends on Facebook. They said they liked it. Simplicity, really. Not much else to say about it. I mean, it's pretty simple, but I like the... Man, I just shook that camera really badly. Like holding on by a thread or something for some reason. Anyways, there's not too much to talk about it. I could go into like the design aspects of it, but there's really no point. I like it. It's simple. It gets to the point. Tells you exactly what we are, Frantic Talks. And it was a good facelift for the previous logo we had. And I managed to take myself out of the logo because I don't look exactly like I did in the logo anymore. And, it's not just me. So when the logo was made, it was just me. So I've got 2 more people, technically 3 more people on board. So, yeah. So let's go into all the changes that took into effect there. So we talked about changes that are happening to the channel in terms of, or not the channel, the website, and technically our YouTube channel, either way, of stuff that's been happening. And we've already gotten the ball rolling on some stuff. My Sunday show takes off every Sunday now, which I actually have an update to that, where I'm going to be adding some graphics in beyond the whole just me talking, so that's exciting. I
hear you had a special guest last week.
I did have a special guest last week, and I did fuck it up. I feel really bad about this. I uploaded the whole entire file of how I do it, so if you watch that, you got to see my process of trying to say something and if fucking it up, I just kind of shake my head. So if you saw that instead of the real thing, I'm not going to... it happened. So, I just uploaded the wrong file because they were named similarly, and I didn't pay attention to the time code. I definitely didn't upload a 6-minute video that was really 2 minutes in actual length. So I feel really bad about that because that was the most viewed episode, too, because it was really funny. Because I dressed up as Goku. I mean, Goku showed up to fight, not to fight, but he took time off of fighting Majin Buu or something to show up. And I just fucked up the editing. So that I mean, I realized my mistake like way too late. I fixed it on Friday. I had the file ready to go, so I actually uploaded the real version yesterday. So if you want to go watch what it actually was supposed to be, go for it. I just feel really bad that I fucked that one up. And there's at one point in the video where I just like stop for 30 minutes or 30 seconds as I'm researching something. Because like I recorded it and then I was like, wait, this doesn't seem right. Then I went and researched it while I was recording it. That actually happens more than you'd think.
Oh,
So that was really funny.
A brief glimpse in the behind the scenes here at Frantic Talks.
Oh yeah, I mean, the podcast is done however long we do it. There's no real stopping. There's been a few times where we stopped once in a while just for random things. We've stepped out of the room once or twice, but when it goes to the full final product, you never see that unless you tune in live. Live is the only time you'll ever catch stuff like that. But anyways, that happened. I fixed it. Hopefully I don't make that mistake again. If I do, someone please bring it up. I feel really bad that 11 people watched that video and no one said anything. They were just like, oh, Jordan fucked it up, and then just left. It was like, hey, tell him. Like, if I fuck something up, I need to know. Because sometimes you just get oversights or you get tunnel vision or, in my case, I just was tired that day and uploaded it, thought it was good, and it wasn't. So, it happens. So like I said, just help me out there, guys. Anyways, beyond that, the Twitch channel is the one that's going to be doing the most new stuff, quote unquote, because I have it set to broadcast a few things. So my original account, which was Frantic J3 the third, which was the one that I always had to say at the end, Frantic J3 THE the third or whatever, and some bastard took Frantic J3, which still to this day is true.
Yes, it still made it.
It still made it into the podcast, even though I technically don't have to say it anymore. It probably will make it in spirit.
Episode 42, the time Frantic J3 the third, because some person stole Frantic J3.
Yeah.
Put to rest.
It is going to be put to rest after this. I might still bring it up, but this is where it stops. Anyways, you might be watching on that channel right now, and that's fine. If you're on that channel, just know that there's another channel where Frantic Talks exists now, and that's where all of our stuff's going to be. I don't know how much exclusive stuff will happen there, but that's where it exists. Now, and like I said, Frantic J3 the third will be broadcasting the Frantic Talks channel whenever it goes live if Frantic J3 the third isn't live, which for any reason, if for any point that ever happens, that'd be really weird because they're both controlled by me. Like, I'm the one who only broadcasts to them because we don't do any live streaming yet. And the Frantic Talks channel is actually going to be broadcasting someone else, and that is Freak Show. Now, we've mentioned Freak Show before. I don't know if we've ever really made an official statement that he is technically a part of Frantic Talks, but he's our professional podcast guest who never actually shows up because we always mention him, and he's our third wheel whenever we play video games.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, maybe next week. We could probably bring him on at some point. I'm entirely fine with it. But basically what'll happen is whenever he goes live, which he goes live the most out of us when in terms of broadcasting to Twitch, it'll also play on the Frantic Talks channel. So there will be times where the channel will be having someone else playing on it. And this is something that happens on all channels. Like like a lot of the clans that exist in the FPS games, they'll tend to broadcast their teams. And I actually had the option to set up a team and like broadcast randomly and stuff. I just had it set to whichever one's live, go. And if they're both live, pick randomly. I don't care. But I think we could get into the realm of broadcasting a couple of random gameplay nights that we do every now and then just to do it.
It'd be so cool. It'd be so cool to have game nights with the listeners of ours too.
Yeah, and that's another thing I want to talk about that I hadn't really run by you, so I'm going to run it by you right now and also let other people hear it. I think if we keep going community-oriented like we have always planned, we could extend the Frantic Talks channel to broadcast other people of the community.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Which I figured you'd be on board with, which is why I didn't say anything until right now. And most of you listening will be like, yeah, I want to be streamed, let's go. And if we do like community nights where we're streaming, why not? So I think we should get into the habit of doing something like that. It'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the big stuff coming to the Frantic Talks Twitch channel. Since it's officially that and not just my username like everything had been in the past, we're going to a more just official stuff. I think it's going to be not only easier managed, not only manageable and easily managed. I can't speak right now, but it'll just be better. So. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about like the logo, any of these ideas. If you have any other ideas, I'd love to hear them on Twitter. Ideas of what you'd want to see us broadcast, because usually when we broadcast, it'll be from an Xbox, so there won't be a picture of us. It'll just be us playing, which will just be gameplay, which I know isn't the most popular thing to broadcast, but still it's something we could do. And there are times where I can actually set up broadcasting with the software I use on my computer to broadcast, like me playing Rocket League or something, which I do end up doing with a friend every now and then. Most of what I did this past week was Rocket League with a friend on PC. So I could set up that. And if you guys are interested in watching us play games or something like that, let us know. We're definitely going to upload more tailored videos, like edited and stuff, to the YouTube channel based on video games, and that'll be a lot of fun once we get the hang of it. And once we get the ball rolling and get it all down pat. So
yeah,
I know it took a lot of time, but there was a lot of stuff to say there. But what were you saying?
I'm pretty anxious to get to use the video editing software that I just got this week, because there's a whole lot of stuff for that, and that will play. It should rightfully help make filming and recording the retrospect videos I want to do so much easier.
Yeah, I want to get my hands on some software to do some of this stuff for like my music stuff, because using Windows Movie Maker is not the most optimal choice. That's what I use now, just because it's all I need to do is just cut out silence. I don't really need to do animations, but it would be so much better if I could.
Right.
So gotta get my hands on that too. But yeah, definitely.
Right.
Okay. So all that out of the way, let me know. Like I said, let us know what you guys think. If you like the new logo, if you hate it, let me know. I'm not gonna be upset. If you like the ideas that we're going for, if you want to join us in gameplay and all that stuff, just let us know. You guys are on pretty often compared to me. I'm usually doing other random shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, right now it's pretty much going to be if I could stream, it'd probably be me getting picked on by mammoths in Skyrim, or doing game battles with Freak Show for Destiny.
Game battles would be really interesting to stream.
Might have to actually have him do that.
We could do that if we rotate in and out. I like that idea.
Yeah.
We might. Yeah, if you guys are interested in that, we actually signed up for a Game Battles account, and it's technically sponsored by Frantic J3 or not Frantic, Frantic Talks. So I had to pay you guys a penny.
Blew the sponsorship.
I fucked it up. This episode's sponsored by Frantic Talks. Wow, we sponsored our own podcast. Holy shit, guys! I think that's the episode name right there. Episode 42, sponsored by Frantic Talks. I want to write that down. Okay. Well.
Anyways.
I do want to say one other thing. My T-shirt is Dream Theater. I'm going to a Dream Theater concert tonight, so I'm excited. I just want to throw it out there. It'll be the second time I've seen them, so I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be very fun.
It'll be lots of fun. I will. Oh yeah, I should say one other thing. In relation to Magic, Commander, the new Commander product comes out next Friday, and we are going to buy. Me and Luke and a couple other friends are going to buy all 5 of them and battle them against each other in one big battle. Oh, it's going to be so good.
Oh, man.
The decks are looking amazing. So, anyways, I'll get after that. Let's get on to some news, basically. There's not too much. It's been a really slow week, and I'm kind of glad that the slow week coincided with us being able to talk about Frantic Talks in general. So,
man, it's almost like they planned that.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so the first thing up is this week at Bungie, and not too much to talk about here beyond, what's it? Iron Banner. Yeah. And then I think there was like one other random thing. But Iron Banner.
That returns Tuesday.
Yeah, it starts Election Day at 10 a.m. Pacific time, ends a week later at 1 a.m.
Which just resets.
Yeah, that's when it resets. Well, everything resets. So
weekly reset, yeah.
Yep. Well, actually, the weekly resets at 2 a.m., I thought.
I think it's actually getting moved back an hour now because of the time change.
Oh, that's right. Daylight savings is tonight at like what, 2 a.m.? And we move
I have no idea. I honestly don't know.
We're moving an hour back. I know that much. So sleep in on Sunday. You won't miss anything.
Sweet.
So, anyways, yeah. So in Iron Banner, you'll get the pulse rifle, the light machine gun. Those are the two. Those you purchase from the vendor, right? And then you can get the drops of anything.
I believe so. I haven't figured out how drops are working. After Rise of Iron came out. But usually it's a combination of last time it was a pulse rifle and a machine gun, and I think the items they were selling too. So
okay,
maybe like everything they have. I have no idea, honestly.
All I feel like everybody got their hands on each of the weapons and armor and stuff, so I think it just kind of drops everything. But then the vendors are where you get it.
Yeah, if you really want it and not have to rely on RNG to drop it for you, that would be buy it from the vendor.
Okay. And then let's see here. You get the different armor. It looks like chest piece and leg pieces. I don't know if that's the same armor as what you could get last time, but it looks pretty cool.
Right.
And then there's a new Vosic challenge.
Ooh.
Does that mean challenge mode is going to be during Vosic or during another time?
It's kind of like how they did it with the challenge modes during the King's Fall raid. It's for that boss, so it would be during Vosic, during the Vosic encounter.
Okay.
I don't know what it is because I don't know what it requires you to do because I haven't done it.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I've been told, but I don't remember exactly. So sorry.
Yeah, I think I was told as well, but I forget too. Anyways, beyond that, it's still Festival of the Lost, but I believe it ends on Tuesday, so get in on that if you haven't. There's a lot of cool little pictures here of people who have taken really cool screenshots with their different
masks.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the word. And then beyond that, there's just a few
pieces.
Yeah, your face pieces. You got the bugs and stuff. It's talking about Siva key fragments. I believe this has to do with... I was going to say something else, but I'm wrong, so I'm not even going to comment. It has to do with Siva key fragments. If you have issues with those, go check it out. It'll definitely explain anything, potentially. I haven't actually read through it because I'm familiar with what the Siva key fragments are, so I don't want to comment on it.
The Siva key fragments are items that you get after each...
Isn't the raid?
It's in the raid, yes, but it's after each... yeah, Grunt Dad is out there watching the Illinois game, so...
I heard he fumbled it, and I was like,
yes.
Oh yeah, that's right, football's on right now.
It is indeed. But I believe those are things you get after either each boss checkpoint or each checkpoint.
Yeah.
As like drops or something, so I don't know.
Yeah, and then you use them to open a chest depending on how many you have.
Yeah, you need, I
to
think,
get
10,
extra loot. Yeah, it says that here.
10 fragments for a key. You can convert them over. And if you break down your cache key, you get 10 fragments.
Yeah, exactly.
The fragments, I think, you can also use to change the stat rolls and perks on your armor pieces from the raid.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm not sure, but
so
yeah.
we're not the experts on this, but consult that if you need some information. I think it's just kind of talking about if you dismantle them, you can't get them back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there's of course the cinema stuff where they show you some cool videos. I never watch them, but every time I do watch them, I'm impressed. So I don't know why I don't continue watching them.
Oh yes.
Okay. All right. So we tweeted out on the Twitter account last week a couple of times asking what you were doing this week, any suggestions of what to talk about. We did get a couple of responses to each of them, and one of them was asking to discuss the return of Straight Rippin'.
Oh my god, nostalgia.
Now what's really funny is Freak Show requested this, so he is inadvertently being the guest here. Straight Rippin' was a really big MLG Halo team, and they just came back and were reformed with one of the original members, T Squared.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise known as Tom Taylor, which is why it's T Squared. It's the real name.
Tom T Squared Taylor. God.
Oh, yeah.
That's a blast from the past right there for me, because I used to watch, back during the prime, quote-unquote, days of Halo 3, I'd always watch the streams for the MLG Orlando and all their regional qualifiers they had.
Yeah.
Straight Rippin' was always one of my favorite teams to watch because they were really good.
Yeah, on screen I have the active roster here of T Squared, Mr. Blakers, Chaser, Prototype, and Lamey. And their positions even. T Squared's the captain, everyone else is players except for Lamey, who is a coach. So that's a thing. I don't really have any much else to add. I mean, you pretty much said it. It's like classic Halo.
It's nostalgia. Yeah, I found out from Freak Show the other night because they were playing the Halo Championship Series, and he mentioned the fact that Straight Rippin' won one of their games, and it's like, wow, that's a blast from the past. So I went and looked up all the old teams like Status Quo and Triggers Down, and went on a freaking nostalgia trip for like a half hour then.
Yeah. So that if you guys are excited about this, let us know. Straight Rippin', they're back, I guess. I must be very recent. It doesn't tell me the date that they reformed.
I think it was just this year because if I remember correctly,
it was. I just don't know if it was like yesterday or 3 days ago, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I know Freak Show told me that there was another team competing in the Halo Championship Series called LOL.
Yeah.
Like, like laugh out loud. Only
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's actually what it stood for, but whatever.
Stood for League of Legends.
That's a bad thing. Whenever I hear that, that's what I think of as League of Legends, not the typical abbreviation for it.
I mean, I throw it in every text I send ever. So that's inaccurate, but not by much.
Right.
I do send it rather often. So how I text, and just a sidebar here, and go on a rant for 5 seconds, how I text is pretty much how I talk. So if I'm saying something and I'm kind of laughing while saying it, I'll throw in LOLs here and there. So like, it's like if I'm like, oh, this was so funny, ha ha ha, LOL, because it shows that I'm laughing. It just kind of, it's literally how I type and send messages is exactly how I would say it.
Right.
So that way there's no confusion in, I don't know. It's text, so you can't hear emotions or anything like that. So.
Oh yeah. But
I don't know what that has to do with this, but you know.
I don't know. That's how this episode's kind of going. We're just over here.
We're just straight.
Back to the point. But if I remember,
did you catch that? Tell me you heard that.
No, I
said
didn't.
We're just straight ripping it.
I'm done.
I didn't see you upset about it, so I had to repeat it.
That's that. Wow. But anyways, I think if I remember from what Freak Show told me correctly the other night, there was this team LOL, which was formed, and it was some of the newer and older players, like from when you and I would used to watch it on a regular basis, with some of the newer stars. They're supposed to be like the top team. Well, the owner or the coach or whatever of the team backed out not too long ago. I don't know how long ago, but not too long ago is the words Freak Show used. So Straight Rippin' was like, oh, okay, here, you're our team now. And that's it. I don't know if that's the true story of how it happened or not, but that's what he told me.
Please fact check that and get back to us.
Yes. Politico or, fact check that.
PolitiFact.
PolitiFact.
Was Straight Rippin' formed this way? PolitiFact's just like, I don't fucking know what you're talking about. Okay, well,
I see an entry on there.
Oh god, it's like mostly true. Freak Show 740 claimed this about Straight Rippin', and indeed, here's the real story. They wouldn't put any effort into that false ass claim, even if it was true. I don't know. Oh man.
Anyways, moving on.
We got one more thing to talk about, so it'll probably last the rest of the episode here, and it's actually really funny. So if you remember last week, if you listened, I mentioned something about Infinite Warfare. I got to see some gameplay of it, and my comments on it were kind of like, what the hell? This is basically Halo, essentially, in the style of futuristic shooter that is not anywhere near realistic. Well, someone else apparently had that thought, I don't know, when prompted themselves to write this lovely article on Polygon titled, Has Call of Duty Lost Touch with Reality?
Hey, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does sound familiar, because I was literally asking that last week. Like, I always go to Call of Duty as a realistic shooter. And he even says that in this first, paragraph or two. He's like, when I think of Call of Duty game, I'm thinking of something a little more realistic that isn't, battleships, zero gravity gunfights, none of that shit. And judging from the game's initial reception on YouTube, I'm not alone. So everyone seems to be thinking what I was thinking. Not to say I was the originator of the said thought, but it seems that a lot of people are on kind of the same page. And this is a long-ass article, by the way. I'm going to scroll through it real quick on the screen. For those of you listening right now, I'm still scrolling. There's some pictures. I'm still scrolling. I'm going at a decent pace here, too. I'm not just, inching by, still scrolling. Still going here. That's the 5th screenshot, 6th screenshot. Hold on. It's still going. We're almost there. I think this is the last. But nope, there's another screenshot. Hold on. And there's the end. Okay, so that was
15 seconds of scrolling.
15 seconds of scrolling, and I'm not just zipping through it, but I'm also not crawling through it. That was 15 seconds of trying to skim it. And man, there is a lot to dissect in this, and I will be truthful with you guys before we talk about this. I've only skimmed through a majority of the top points and tried to get a gist of what he was saying. And basically, what he is saying is it really hasn't, from what I could gather. And his main conclusion, which kind of is covered in the last paragraph, is discussing that people who are enfranchised players aren't used to this, and this is a very big leap. And this could either hit or miss, and there's really no in between. That's kind of what he was getting at, from what I was able to gather. Now, if I've interpreted that slightly incorrect, just let me know, but we're going to base a lot of this off of that, because I have personal opinions about this game, even though I have yet to play it, and I've watched enough gameplay to know what it is, that I can at least say safely that I don't think that I would enjoy this, nor do I think that it's going to do well. So, I mean, that's how I feel about it. Personally, it kind of just comes down to... So, I talked last week about how I just uninstalled Halo 5, right? Because it had a lack of cover, the gameplay mechanics were kind of counterintuitive, and a few other random things. And I've played a lot of Black Ops 3, right? Well, not a lot, but I played like a half hour of it, and I realized that something I never realized was a good thing about Destiny was when you're playing Destiny and you're up in midair and you're trying to aim your gun and shoot, it's not very accurate. In Call of Duty, they didn't take that into account. You aim with your gun, it's a laser. No matter where you're at, if you're free falling, if you're crouching, whatever, it is where you're aiming is where it'll shoot. So, I mean, that's a small thing, but it made a big difference, because in Black Ops 3, you can double jump and wall run and stuff, and that just makes it to where it's really hard to gain any amount of momentum, because you can just be hit from pretty much any angle. And that doesn't allow for a fun experience, in my opinion. And that's what makes me think this isn't even going to be good beyond... They discussed that, by the way, in this article about how the grapple system was created in this game because they needed a way to get to cover if they're going to be in zero-gravity gunfights.
Right. Well, like me, biggest reason I'm not too thrilled of it is, yes, games are supposed to be fictional, but I think this is just going beyond that absurd reality of, this could happen. Mm-hmm. It's like, I liked Call of Duty back when it was in its World War II era, or even some of the more so modern games. I enjoyed Modern Warfare 2. I even tried to find a cheap copy of Modern Warfare to see what it was like, but that never worked out.
There's no cheap copies because it's a great game.
I mean, I found a few copies for like, $5-10 maybe, but it's like, I don't know if I want to pay that much for the game when I could buy something else maybe.
Yeah.
And, as they got more so towards the future, I think, what was it? They
started going into the future after Modern Warfare 3, which was Black Ops 2.
So
that was only going about, I want to say 2025, 2030, so not too far in the future.
Yeah, not too far. That might still be okay. That still might be okay, I might find interest in those, but anything really hundreds of years into the future is a little crazy for me. But yeah. Grunt, then why do you like Halo? Well, there's a little bit more to it than that.
Right, and interestingly enough, he brings up a good point in this article where he's like, well, Black Ops 3 has all this stuff in it, and what makes that better than this? And
right.
He said because all of it's rooted in research and stuff that they've talked to other people about. So they've gotten military experts to say future warfare would look like that. Because
right.
exoskeletons are real things, all this interesting stuff. And while it's cool that they're taking that concept into it, it's... Oh, we got some sneezing. While they're taking that into account, the main issue that we're running into here is the series that's doing it was rooted in realism from the beginning.
I was actually cheering, you heard, by the way.
Oh, was it cheering?
Yes.
Well, shit, I feel bad. He sounded like he was sneezing.
Nope, cheering. I think Illinois just won.
Oh, nice. Well, congratulations, Illinois.
I mean, we'll see.
Anyways, no, it's definitely a really weird thing where this is rooted in reality in a sense, because they did, and when you read through the article, you find that they talked to a lot of experts to figure out if they would be doing all these things, these spaceships, the zero gravity, all this stuff. They were talking about that, and the game is based on kind of like Halo, where in the idea that we've expanded our settlements to more planets, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's a lot different than Halo, because Halo, from the get-go, lets you know...
Purely fictional.
100% fictional, with the Spartans being augmented children at the beginning, and then they turn into these big-ass 7-foot-tall 2-ton warriors.
Oh yeah.
And from that point, you're just like, oh, okay, this is gonna be fun. Call of Duty's like, no, I don't want to sit here and just say this is a bad thing. You know, I don't want to say Call of Duty can't be futuristic and to say we need to stay where we're at or in the previous or in the past because at some point it becomes ungraspable. I don't want to say that. What I do want to say is that if they did it right, and I don't know what right is, don't hear me saying I know how to do it better. If they don't know how to do it right, then there's a bit of a problem. Because that's what he kind of comes to at the end of this article is it's a hit or miss. And that's truly what it comes down to. There will not be a middle ground. Like, Call of Duty is a franchise that is basically that. You either love it or you hate it. There's no real middle ground. And I think that's due to how popular it is, truly. It's the people who hate it usually hate it because they don't like popular things, and the people who like it because they just like it. That's a good majority of it. Now, that's not to say that's why I hate it. I played Modern Warfare 3 for a while, and then just eventually hated it so much that I was just like, I'm done with this, and didn't want to pick up another one until I picked up Black Ops 3 and didn't really enjoy myself anyways.
Right.
So,
I think to me the biggest reason I don't care much for it is the fact that it's the same game pretty much every year or every other year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest reason I don't buy all these annual sports games that come out, because nothing much changes. You have a few tweaks to controls or how things act or react, and there's not huge leaps and bounds of gameplay changes or innovative changes for the entire genre that make me want to buy it. So
yeah, like for the sport game releases, I'd buy every 3 years and I'd get as much of an update. Like I bought Madden 2013 and then 2012 and then I bought 2015, and they weren't crazily different. The rosters were the biggest difference, but then there were some other minor differences that I enjoyed. But after 3 years later, the game barely being any different, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
People go out and buy a $60 roster update. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But with Call of Duty, it's not simply that. They have 3 different studios working on a game, so they get 3 years to make their game at this point each time. And yeah, they get to change a lot, but in my opinion, I think they're just going too far down the realm of insanity in terms of gameplay. And that's not to say this stuff won't ever happen. That's not my point. Even if it does happen, it's still insane. So wall running, shooting people with a bow, and then double jumping into a ledge to get cover on someone who then double jumps behind you. I mean, Halo is futuristic and doesn't even do that shit. It does now, and it's really fucking annoying. Because, like I said, I have expressed my distaste enough with Halo, but it seems like once you start adding in so many features, being able to play the game and manage them becomes ridiculous. And I think that's what makes the games originally so fun, is that there's not too much to worry about, and every time you're presented with a threat, you're able to manage it. So the original Call of Duty 4, that kind of kickstarted all this modern movement, there wasn't too much to it. You had your gun, you got 3 different choices for attachments once you unlocked them. There were 3 skill streaks, and that was it. That was the game. There were levels, you'd run around them, there were some turrets here and there that you could handle, and that was it. So I guess not every gun had different the light machine guns didn't have silencers, and then your snipers didn't have silencers either, or red dot sights. But you get what I'm saying, where they had limited attachments. You had certain perks that could let you maybe have a couple extra grenades or maybe make your bullets hit harder. And then you had 3 kill streaks. You got the UAV, which allowed you to see everybody. You get your airstrike, and then if you got high enough, you got a helicopter. Helicopters were annoying, but if your team put together enough effort, they could kill it. Or if you just hopped on a minigun, you could take it down in 3 seconds. That was the game. It was one of the best games I've ever played. It was simple, yet it had enough complexities to make it interesting, but it didn't have so many that it wasn't complex and it wasn't unmanageable. And I think that's what's deterred me from playing the more recent ones, even if I wanted to, is because they're so unmanageable in terms of you have to keep track of so much stuff constantly that it's a tax on your mind. When I'm playing Black Ops 3, I have to keep in mind that people could come hopping over a wall, they could come around the wall, they could slide around the wall, they could hop around the wall, and they have 27 different weapons they're going to be able to shoot me with 30 different perks and 40 different equipments they could throw at me. And I have to memorize what each perk and equipment sound like and all that. It just gets taxing. Like,
oh yeah, too much involved in actually playing the game. It's more of a task than it is just simple, straightforward playing.
Mm-hmm. And that's that's an over. What's the right term? I'm overestimating those numbers, of course, but there is a decent amount of stuff that I played Black Ops 3 for 30 minutes, and I still couldn't tell you what 90% of the stuff I had used did, because it just didn't explain it to me. There was no way of knowing what I was doing, and at the same time, it wasn't even straightforward. Like, I figured out how to call in my like little special and shoot some bow and arrows that explode, which was cool, but it just wasn't straightforward. And
Right.
I think that's what's taking away from it, in my opinion. To think about all of this coming together. It's not a matter of Infinite Warfare being futuristic as much as it's with the future they've added so much complexities that the game truly is infinite, and that's not a good thing.
Right. I have to agree.
I think I'd come to that conclusion. And that's what bothered me about Halo 5 too. There's a lot to get down. You have to figure out, you can now climb up on walls, you can use your thruster pack back and forth, you can ground pound, you can do there's probably like one or two other things I'm not even thinking of, which even speaks to it. Like, I've played that game a good amount, and I still forget some of the shit that's in it. Power slides, that's another one.
Oh yes, but
it
those
just
are
adds
fun.
so many, and I understand why they're added. You want to feel like a badass running around, and that's completely fine. It's just what it adds into the gameplay is all of those things don't make you good at combat. Like when you look at real combat, like real military warfare, you don't go running in head first into something. You camp. Real military warfare is just camping. That's all it is. I mean, there are certain points where you get tactical, like with Spec Ops and stuff, but for the most part, it's camping. So
Oh yeah.
you get all these abilities and things to do, and you got to go running in head first. You're just going to get, I don't know. It's hard to explain truly, but I think that's the best way I'd put it, is unmanageable with how much there is to know, to do, and to be aware of in order to have a successful round. And for a 5-minute deathmatch game, that's just too much for me.
Right. Yeah, I have to agree.
I mean, yeah. I can keep giving examples. Halo 3 was simple in concept. Had a couple of equipments that you threw down. Those were kind of dumb in some cases. Halo 2, straight up guns. If you know where the power weapons are, you have an advantage. That's it. There's not too much to it. So I think I've said what I need to say.
But yeah, I mean, I have to agree. The games like these are becoming a little bit more complex to play than.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say I'm simple-minded, and I hope that you don't take away from this that I only like games that are simple and straightforward.
Oh, no.
But, I mean, with something like Rocket League that I've gotten hours of gameplay out of, it's just a car with a boost, and you can jump around. That's the game, and it is infinitely more fun.
Sometimes going simple provides more fun, which is better for some people. Sometimes there are people that really enjoy having thousands of different combinations of gear to use because that's what they enjoy. So
yeah,
you just have to get the right balance for it to work really well together.
Yeah, I've always found simple to be the better answer. So
there you go.
To bring everything full circle, our new logo is very simple.
Boom.
All right, I think that about does it. Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
Not that I can think of, no.
Okay. Well, this episode was sponsored by Frantic Talks, the Frantic Talks podcast. All right, guys. So let's throw advertising. New Twitch channel. That's going to be right up front. Twitch.tv/Frantic Talks, all one word. Every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, you can join us live. We will definitely start mentioning, hopefully, more points where we start going live on that channel to, to show off some of the stuff that we do beyond this podcast and maybe beyond anything else that we've done at this point. If you're watching on the old Twitch channel, we still show up on that channel. Don't worry, but it'd be easier if you got on the new one because then you can follow us with all the other cool stuff we'll do. And we'll try to feature more people of the community on that channel once we start getting more and more people involved. So that'll be a lot of fun. If you want to get involved, talk to us on Twitter. At FranticJ3 is me. At Onyx Spartan, ONYX is him. And then at Frantic_Talks is the official account that you can talk to us. Both of us, essentially. It depends on who checks it. And we'll definitely get back to you. And we'd love to hear what you guys think about our discussion here on Call of Duty. What do you guys think? Is it a symptom of too many things? Is it something else that maybe we didn't harp on? Love to hear what you guys think about that so we can continue the conversation beyond the podcast. And then you can go to facebook.com/Frantic Talks, all one word, and you will get us there. We'll have all the podcasts, all our articles that we tend to write, and videos all posted there. Speaking of videos, youtube.com, you have to search for us. We aren't on an official URL yet. Get us 100 subscribers, and we'll give you a URL. That's where you can find the Sunday Show, which is a video I do where I mention music I'm listening to and recommend it. And then you'll also eventually start seeing some other stuff. You'll see the podcast, of course, which is always on there, and other gameplay stuff that we'll end up doing. Like Grunt had mentioned something else earlier in this podcast, but I don't want to say it again because we'll try to keep it secret. Oh yeah, it's all secret. Ooh.
Plausible deniability.
Plausible. We might even upload full streams on there too if we get enough people liking them. So that's a possibility.
Ooh.
And frantictalks.com, where it all originates.
The
mothership, frantictalks.com, and of course magic.frantictalks.com if you're interested in Magic the Gathering. Talk a lot about cool stuff on there. And if you're interested in Magic opinions too, you can tweet at us. Grunt's been playing it a lot recently, getting to know it, and I definitely have had my fair share of Magic. I was actually playing last night, so you want to talk about that, feel free to. I think that about does it.
I think so too.
iTunes, search Frantic Talks. All this is findable on the website, by the way. If you click on a podcast, you pretty much found everything that you can find, including the Twitch channel, which I'll have to update the URL, but I will do that.
Ooh.
Sounds good. Okay.
Basically what I'm getting, if you want to find us, just look up Frantic Talks.
That's truly the best answer. We'll probably replace the Frantic J3 bastard with that statement because that's really how you find us.
There you go.
All right, guys. Well, I think that about does it. Like I said, let us know what you think on Twitter, and we'll see you guys next time. I'm Frantic.
I'm Grunt.
And we'll catch you later.